Thanks for joining us here on Capitol Tonight. I'm Karina Kling. The search continues for a suspect investigators say shot and killed 5 people in San Jacinto County Friday night. The gunman is accused of killing his neighbors after they asked him to stop firing his gun so their baby could sleep. In the wake of the tragedy, Texas Senator John Cornyn blamed the shooting on the Biden administration's border policies.
This weekend, the administration's policies victimize people who are attacked by dangerous individuals who never should have been in the United States in the first place.
Meanwhile, Governor Greg Abbott's initial comments on the shooting sparked outrage nationwide after labeling the victims as illegal immigrants. He's since expressed some regret, noting it appears at least one of them was not. Our Charlotte Scott reports on the backlash that's once again putting border policies and gun reforms center stage.
The tragedy outside of Houston has once again sparked conversation about gun reform in Texas. And a tweet from Governor Greg Abbott sparked even more conversation. On Sunday, Abbott called the gunman and victims illegal immigrants. Since then, officials have said one of the victims may have been in Texas legally. Local authorities say the victims were from Honduras, but they have not revealed their immigration status. In a statement to Spectrum News, a spokesperson for the governor said, "We regret if the information was incorrect and detracted from the important goal of finding and arresting the criminal. The true focus remains on catching this heinous criminal who killed 5 innocent people and bringing the full weight of Texas law against him."
To say the least,
this isn't the first time the governor has had to walk back comments he made after a mass shooting.
He has gotten quicker on the draw and sometimes more careless in the way he describes events or characterizes people. And so sometimes he gets in trouble, as he did on Sunday evening.
I think it's despicable to go out and politicize a shooting like this and try to suggest that this is because, some immigrant went wild. Yeah, some immigrant went wild for sure, killed some people. But the Republicans put the gun in his hands. We have no laws to prevent that person from having this weapon.
Senator Roland Gutierrez of San Antonio and other Democrats have been pushing their Republican colleagues to pass stricter gun legislation for years. One bill they're pushing would close the gun show loophole, which allows anyone without identification to purchase weapons from an unlicensed seller.
Let's be very clear that the chaos that has evolved in this state has nothing to do with immigration and has everything to do with loose Republican gun laws.
Texas GOP Chair Matt Rinaldi flipped the issue onto the senator, saying of the shooter, quote, "The illegal alien was able to get a gun because policies Roland Gutierrez supports allowed him in the country after he was deported multiple times." Several bills have been filed to tighten gun laws, but they are unlikely to go anywhere this legislative session. For Capitol Tonight, I'm Charlotte Scott.
Charlotte, thank you. And joining us now to discuss this search further is Wendi Pollock. She's a criminal justice professor at Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. Dr. Pollock, welcome to the program. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
A lot to this. The suspect still at large. I think there's 200 plus law enforcement agencies looking for him, working on this. Why no leads right now?
There's a number of reasons there's no leads. The event happened at night, and through several interviews have mentioned that this is a place where gunshots, people shooting their guns in their yard is not uncommon. So it wouldn't draw a crowd per se to hear gunfire. It's also not a highly populated area. There's a little land around every house, so it allows for people to slip out and not be seen. It wouldn't have drawn a crowd there. In addition, I think in communities where you have immigration, regardless of illegality or legality, you also have challenges with barriers like language and police trust and understanding of the criminal justice system, which sometimes play a role in being able to speak with the police or help the police get the information they need.
What type of work is law enforcement doing right now to try and track him down?
Well, they're answering phones undoubtedly, so there's probably likely hundreds of calls coming in after news conferences with photos, and they are going to be responsible for checking every single one of those to make sure it's not the individual that they're looking for. In addition to that, they are desperately trying to find connections for this individual. So they're going to be looking for anybody this person knows, anybody they might spend time with, go to, ask for help, or any locations that perhaps they would go to hide out or lay low, or places they trust.
It has been reported that the gunman's been deported at least 4 times. So how do you get access to guns if that's the case?
The truth is that gun purchasing is really only reported if you buy a gun from an official source. So any guns that change hands between private individuals can happen without much record. So it really doesn't matter if you have a record, if you have a legal status, if you have any other kinds of things that would prohibit you from getting a gun technically legally, you can purchase one privately. There are other ways, for instance, printing guns now, but likely this came from a private transaction.
Yeah, the gun show loophole the senator mentioned there in the story that we just heard. Given the governor's initial comments on this, I know he's walked it back a little bit, but is there any investigative or law enforcement value of noting that the victims are illegal immigrants?
No, there's not. There's still a very dangerous person here in the United States, in Texas, potentially, that killed 5 individuals. And so right now that is the primary concern. It doesn't make any difference if those individuals that were murdered were illegal or not illegal, or if the gunman was illegal or not illegal. The goal remains the same: find this person and keep people safe.
We just have about 30 seconds left, but with what you're saying, I mean, is there any threat to public safety right now?
Always. I think in a situation like this, I mean, not to make people over afraid, but it's very important to be on the lookout, and also to understand that this person may feel that they don't have a lot of options, and that makes people particularly dangerous. So if you do see this individual, make sure to contact police immediately, but don't engage.
Wendi Pollock of Texas A&M Corpus Christi, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. And for more refreshing stories about your community, click the subscribe button right over here. You can also download our Spectrum News app to get live news coverage, weather alerts, and more wherever you are. And don't forget to tune in to Channel 55 on Dish and DirecTV for live local reporting every single day. We'll see you then.